Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, all series videos. Thank you so much for the likes, the comments, and for subscribing. In this video I'll be updating you on unfortunate love. It is hot on this street, I must tell you. Guess what? Rishi shocked Malishka as Malishka called Lakshmi characterless girl in front of Rishi. Rishi could not have it. Rishi shouts at her and warned her never to repeat such. Declared Lakshmi is still his wife. You need to watch till the end to find out how it happened. Malishka is in shock in front of everyone. Let's go. The episode starts with Barwinder seeing Daddy and Ayush coming from opposite directions. He hides. Ayush sees Daddy and says, "I was missing you." Daddy asks him to search a girl for him, else he will be a bachelor. Ayush asks her to search a nice girl for him. Daddy asks if I don't have any work and goes. He asks if you are not my nanny. Barwinder hears them. Lakshmi thanks the God for handling the situation, for saving Ahana's engagement. She then thanks God and says, "If Ahana had not come, then how would I have saved Rishi from Makesh?" Rishi comes to her and calls her name. She asks him to say. He says, "I want to." She asks, "Are you fine?" Rishi says, "I just wanted to say." Ayush comes there and asks Lakshmi why she came. He asks Rishi not to fall in her trap again and always remember that she betrayed us. Rishi asks him to go and gives him 5 minutes. Ayush says he can't leave him with her even for a minute. Rishi asks him to go and ask Lakshmi if she's fine. Rishi asks him to go and ask Lakshmi if she's fine. Lakshmi says, "I am fine as I had the buttermilk." She says it works wonders for her and it relieves acidity. Rishi says, "I am talking about you and not about buttermilk." He says, "You are understanding well, so don't make jalebis." Lakshmi says, "No, I am not making jalebis." Malishka comes there and asks what you said in court, that you are here today also. Lakshmi says truth and says she said truth. She says truth is like a sun rays which can't be hidden and comes out. Malishka says, "Hear one more truth," and tells that Rishi and she will unite amidst her conspiracies. She asks Rishi to come. Rishi says, "I am with Lakshmi and wants to talk to you." Malishka says she is no more in your life and asks him to come. She takes Rishi from there to his room. Rishi asks her to leave his hand. He asks why did she bring him here, as Ahana's engagement is happening downstairs. Malishka asks what happened to you. Rishi says, "I shall ask you in front of everyone." Malishka says, "I brought you from in front of Lakshmi." She asks, "Did you see your way?" She says, "You were talking to that characterless girl." Rishi shouts, "Enough!" and asks her not to talk to him in this tone and also in this language. She holds his hand and says, "I will lower my tone," and says, "You are saying this for that girl who cheated with you, although she stayed in your room." She says, "Who am I?" She says, "I am here for you, and you have changed for that cheap girl who has ruined your family's respect." Rishi shouts, "Enough!" and says, "I am not a small kid to fall in anyone's trap." He says, "Lakshmi haven't ruined my family's respect, but instead saved my family." Malishka asks if she saved your respect by getting pregnant with driver's baby. Rishi says Lakshmi is not pregnant, but Ahana is pregnant. He said Lakshmi haven't lied anything. Reno thinks about Barwinder's saying and scolds Neha. Malishka asks, "Who said this to you?" "That Lakshmi." She says Lakshmi is pregnant and you were falling in her trap. Rishi says Lakshmi is not pregnant, but Ahana is pregnant. Malishka says Ahana is not pregnant. Rishi says Ahana told me this in front of the judge. He says now Lakshmi will stay with us in this house for 2 more months and says, I don't understand who told Bawenda about Lakshmi's pregnancy. She says someone told him about this and he came to claim the baby. He says someone from our family is giving him info and I will find out. He says, you know me, and then also saying this. He says, I am still her husband, and tells that he feels guilty for whatever Lakshmi heard from everyone. He asks her not to utter any word against Lakshmi from now onwards, and says, if you don't understand, then don't know what to tell you. Malishka thinks Lakshmi always wins and thinks if Bawenda comes here and tells about me, then I will be out and Lakshmi will be here. She thinks to stop Bawenda and give him money. Neelam talks to Anjana. Anjana tells that they just want Ahana. Ahana asks Gautam to talk to his parents. Anjana apologizes to Lakshmi for all the wrong sayings. Lakshmi says, don't apologize to me, you are my elder. She says, you are like Mommy G to me. Anjana says, don't know what is your truth, but whenever I meet you, I feel peace at heart and don't feel that you do anything wrong with anyone. Lakshmi asks her to bless her. Anjana says, my blessings are with you. Daddy gets excited seeing the rasgulla and asks Lakshmi to give 8 to 10. Others refuse to let her eat. Daddy takes it herself and drops rasgulla on Gautam's clothes. Ahana says she will get his clothes cleaned. Karishma teases them and asks them to go. Lakshmi thinks why light is gone. Inverter should have started by now. She says engagement will start. Rishi comes there holding the candle. Lakshmi asks, did you switch off the light? And says, you know that today is Ahana's engagement. Rishi says, no, I didn't switch it off. It is good that light went. I can speak to you now. She asks, what do you want to say? He says, sorry. She says it is not needed. He says it is a small word and thanks her for doing so much for Ahana and his family. Lakshmi says if you were in my place, then would have done the same. Rishi asks with what? Mud you are made? Gautam asks Ahana to understand. Ahana says she can't hide her past. She says you told me about your past and I accepted it. She says she don't want to hide anything from his parents and says if anyone comes to know the truth later, then what will we do? Anjana hears her. Rishi asks Lakshmi if the truth wouldn't have come out, then what would have happened? Lakshmi says it will happen after 2 months. He feels guilty and says my family was scolding you and you were silent. He says your eyes were looking at me when Bawenda was dragging you. He says your eyes were telling that Bawenda claim was wrong and he says I broke your trust and says I really felt that some truth is hidden and sound came from my heart that Lakshmi can't do this. Lakshmi says then also you didn't hear your heart sound. He says I can feel what you were feeling. He says I care for you. In fact, even now, he says I think due to my ego and family reaction, I thought it is your fault. But I think that I should have spoken to you and asked you once when everyone was taunting you. Ahana tells Gautam that everyone loves and trusts her and asks him if she shall hide. She says, I was in a relationship with some guy. She asks him to go and tell them. Gautam says no. Ahana says, this truth will be with me always, as I am pregnant with that guy's baby, and I have decided to keep this baby. She asks if he thinks that they will accept her baby, as they stay in London. Gautam says, I can't lose you, Ahana. Anjana comes inside the room, hearing them. They both look at her. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and come back for more updates from your favorite Z Word series.